Hello and welcome. This is Solagbade, and I'm going to show you in over a few minutes, how this little project of mine, this application that I did as a little project, how it works. I call it the Excel Visual Basic Election Results Compiler and Reports Stroke Chart Generator. I created it basically to enable me do what I love doing, which is I like to look at data and look at trends and look at patterns. In this case, it's voting, okay, and I like to be able to see if I can detect some unusual trends in the data that was collected. What I did was I took the data from the website of the INEC, that's Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission. I'll load that now for you to see. This PDF was available from the INECNigeria.org website, and it has the summaries of all the results from the presidential elections that were held on March 28, 2015. And what I did was to take it and then load it into, well, there's something I did, maybe I should just show you that. If you take a look at this is my version of it. I just cut it up and put it in Excel. This enabled me to do the posting I needed to do from this copy, which was a scanned document, into the spreadsheet table I needed to access data from in my own compiler. So when I got the data in, I got the data in here. Now if you think I typed this cell by cell, column by column, and scrolling all over the place, no, I did not. I had to create a data entry form, which you will not need if you're going to use this application, because you will not be making entries into this. Why? Because the elections have been held. The figures are not going to change. So, but I use this, you click a drop menu, you click the state, then you post in the entry per state, like that. And I use that, and this whole thing you're seeing here was just for me to track and make sure the data I had here was the same as this. I won't waste time in this video on that. If you want to see that, you can get across to me. This is the one for data entry, but probably the only people who will need this will be people who probably monitor elections or who conduct elections anywhere in the world and would like to have something to make data entry into Excel for the report preparation easier. You should actually use this rather than type into Excel manually. This form, if you look at my other videos at excelheaven.biz, you see what I mean. My forms make it easy. You don't have to interact with the spreadsheet, and you don't have to scroll along multiple columns. Just stay on the form and you'll be able to post everything. Like I said, I don't want to go into that now. I've done enough videos on that. Go to excelheaven.biz. You will see what I mean. Now, let me show you how this application works. This is the data table. Maybe one of the things I would like to show you, one of the things I created. View errors. I found out that INEC had some errors. I'm not going to talk about them much. I don't want to look for trouble. They weren't major errors, but the totals INEC had, okay, based on the data they gave for the individual states, okay, the party votes, number of votes per party for each state are added up to get you the total votes received by parties. Well, INEC did the totals and had the total in their spreadsheet, and when I did the totals using the data they put in their table, I found out that there was a difference for some of them, about 5 states. So there you have them. But I'm not going to, that's by the way, those ones won't affect the outcome of the elections, that's for sure. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not sure if you're getting some static. I have a problem with my headset here. Alright, so how does this work? Well, I'll show you the first thing. Let's look at charting result. Okay, well, one thing I should show you, I'll click this again, bring back the table. You see, I was able to narrow down to the records with errors without having to scroll all over the place. Now I'll show you, I was able to use a certain controls to create reports that will generate like zonal summaries. So the table itself can be generated, can be filtered to show you only data relevant to a certain zone in Nigeria. So for instance, the Northwest zone. So you could actually print this out. Why do you want to do that? Sometimes the person interested in the data isn't interested in data, in the national data. The person who just wants the data for probably the zone he is responsible for, that he has interest in. Or you as a person might be curious to compare. So the data table itself can be queried, sort of, and you would actually get that happening. So that's what you're seeing on your screen, and then you can just do the total and to bring back everything. That's the data table now we're looking at. But what about the results? Let's start with charting the party results by states. So you take a party and then you see how it did on a state-by-state basis. This is what we have here. And one of the things I did, like I said, I love to look at it. I don't want to spend my time putting in formulas. I just do everything, and then I want to sit back and look at what the data, what's the data telling me, So for instance, you see in this is a party called AA. I'm not going to give you the acronyms. If you are interested in Nigeria, go and check what AA means. I'm sure the INEC website has the breakdown of what the acronyms mean. Now, take a look at the graph. Okay, you see that you have this is Oyo State. Way. AA seems to be very popular in the state. Compared to all the other states, this is like huge, man. So if you look at Oyo State here, and let's scroll down to see. Let's see that you can see that that's 6,331 votes. I don't like using this spreadsheet version, so I always have this option to look at an automated form. Okay. and then you'll see how I change from one party to the other. So I make changes to see what the data looks like for other parties. Okay, so in this case, for instance, we're looking at AA here, and you can see the whole chart is on your screen, including the table on the right. And then I can say, okay, let me see for APC, and the chart will be changed by the application. Just wait a few seconds, okay, and then you'll be able to look at another view of the data. Now take a note, take note that on the right you have a button, like dirty yellow colored button labeled save. While we are waiting for the thing to load, it takes a while because the data what it has to do is a lot. And the save button there allows you to save what you see on your screen right on this form right now. You'll be able to save it separately on your desktop or anywhere else you want on disk outside this Excel application. Okay, you'll be able to do that. And basically what will happen then is you'll be able to take that image of this table with this chart and use it in whatever other format you want. For instance, you could decide to use it in maybe in a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, Microsoft Word report, or whatever form, and then you query it. You see votes received by parties across states, national totals, and it just basically brings it up. Now if you click this button, what it will normally allow you to do is to save, but I haven't put in that functionality. That's something I'm putting on request. I don't really need that for my this thing is actually for me. It's just that I feel also that if I put it out on the web, it gives people an idea of what is possible. Think of this in whatever terms you like. If you also handle election data, or you handle financial data, or you handle product movement. I mean, if you are the marketing manager or distribution manager or logistics manager for a multinational that handles fast-moving consumer goods, or that you're a manufacturing multinational, and you have sort data across the country, and you need to be able to look at and review trends of data in your sales, in your distribution, in your expenses, or whatever, in your buying patterns across a region. This kind of application, which allows you just with a few clicks generate reports and present different scenarios, is what you need. As against having to do it all by yourself, you have something that's ready to go, or that you can actually make modifications to as you want. So anyway, you could want to save this in order to send it, email this image, as you see here. You want to email that to somebody, and you don't want to send the whole application to the person or the whole workbook to the person. This function allows you to do that, but I haven't put it in here because, as I said, this is just a toy. But I have another video. Again, go to excelheaven.biz. You will see the videos there that show me this function at work. Now you do that, you click on, and then you choose another one, and then it changes this scenario. So you see that that's possible. I want you to take it back to the spreadsheet. Let me take you back and let you see something. When you click the scroll button, watch that. It's changing the results. You see that? Maybe I want to just zoom out for you a bit, because like I said, I like working with a floating form, but just for the purposes of this video, I could zoom out a bit, and you can see what you are able to do here. When I click, it goes straight away to another. Okay, I think I mistakenly clicked the print button there, because it's also ready to print. So I click that. You see, it changes to AD, the party called AD, and you can see the voting pattern again, and you're able to see that. So that's one kind of report. I'm going back to 100% deliberately. Then I want you to go to state reports. What's state reports? Take a look. Again, you see how I navigate. I don't have to scroll left and right. I've created buttons that get me straight to where I need to go. It takes out all the time. All the effort is wasted. Right. Now we're in the view where we look at state results. And basically what we're looking at here is you take a state, you click the name of a state, and it brings up the results according to what party scored, in terms of voting, votes received. So for instance, I could choose Lagos. Okay, that's Lagos, that's already there. If I choose Ogun, watch that. And the interesting thing about this thing is that you okay, maybe I should just demonstrate it instead. Let's go to the auto form. Okay, take a look at that. Now I love using the forms because the forms make it easier for me to do what I want to do. Now for instance, this is the elections in Ogun State. This was the voting trend, but let's say you want to see it in form of charts. So I click change to bar charts. Imagine how long you'd have to take to do this for every scenario you wanted to see, and be sure that you're actually doing the right thing with the data. But this application, what it does is it's already predefined. The data is already done. We're not going to be changing the data anymore. This is permanent data. Then you can do whatever you like with it in terms of presentation of data, manipulation, handling, and presentation of data. This is what I'm doing here. The Ogun State result I'm now looking at in the different, using a different kind of chart presentation. Okay, line graphs, line charts, and a kind of line chart. So it depends on what you want to see. Now the other thing is I could look at the national, where I'm comparing the national data versus the zonal data and the state data. Okay, you can see national versus southwest zone. So it automatically detects what zone the state belongs to. I'll give you another example. Let me take a different state. Let's say Adamawa, for instance. The minute I do that, this is Adamawa state now. If I wanted to look at national versus zone versus state, watch. So that's northeast zone. And if I wanted to see that as a bar chart, watch what will happen. Okay, and the tables and everything is just picking up from the data table that we got from INEC, and it's just summarizing the data. So zonal and all of that is just, I just use certain functions. So I want to look at that again in form of the three considerations: zone, nation, and state. You can see that now each of these you're actually ready to print. You can also save it to disk. Now, the rendering of the charts sometimes look a bit what do I put it now, pixelated on the form because of the format that's used. But the truth is that when you're going to print, this is not what you print. What you will print is what is behind the form, which is this. As a matter of fact, this button here enables you to just send it straight to the printer. You know, it's just ready to go. There's little or no work for you to do. So it is possible indeed to just set up a button that you click that will send out all the data for all the states. It's just send each of them to the printer straight away. You know, or if you wanted them set up as a separate Excel file that you could just use and email to somebody, that would also happen. So imagine look at this. You can change the states using the scroll button. You know, so many things are possible, you know, with Excel. It's amazing. Now if we go back to the data table again, I want to go to the there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Okay, yeah, let's go to the clickable results. Sorry, to the clickable map. And then, you know, what I've said here basically is that if you are looking at this application and you are interested in it, you can get it free along with the home study video tutorials I will create actually to show how I did this. I intend to create that, and I will actually create that on demand, you know. And my reason is simple. I want people to begin to see Excel as being, it's the best reporting application on the market. I didn't say that. That was what Pierre Leclerc said, and he's a powerful Excel VB developer whose work has influenced me a lot. But I have also come up with a lot of my own stuff over the years, and this is more than I've been doing spreadsheet solution development since 1994, you know. So, and I've created all sorts of applications, and the truth of the matter is that, like I said, it's not limited to financial applications. Excel indeed is relevant to virtually any area of life. You've seen that with the elections results I've just handled with this application, and this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what is possible. I can click Sokoto, and then it takes me up to Sokoto and shows me the data for Sokoto straight away, and then I continue from there. Imagine what that means. You can actually go from a graph straight away to the reports, you know. So I said a graph, a map, you know. So it's, the possibilities are potentially limitless. It just depends on you and what you want Excel to do for you, but most importantly, how much sense you want to make of your data, you know. So what I've shown you here is just to demonstrate that you can do a lot with your data if you know how to use Microsoft Excel, especially with automation. All right, if you're interested in getting a copy of this application, or you would like me to put you through on how to use Excel, or you would like me to build an application for your company, or you would like to partner with me to run an event in which people who are business users of Excel learn to automate Excel the way I do. A lot of businesses need to use Excel like this, otherwise they'll keep making big errors when users are making manual use of Excel. You know, talk to me, get across to me. This is my website address, www.tayosolagbade.com, TAYOSOLAGBADE.com, or go to www.excelheaven.biz. That's the section of my website that's dedicated specifically to the development of Excel solutions. Get across to me also by tayo@tksola.com. That's my email address, and let me know how I can help you. Like I said, you can get this application free if you want it. There's a requirement. Just email me and I'll tell you what it is. But of course, if you want to buy it, just get across as well. It is for sale. But I'm enjoying myself, and I intend to do a lot more with Excel that will make life easier for me. I am sure that you use Excel. It's almost impossible these days to find an adult who's even remotely interested in being organized, not using a spreadsheet like Excel. So if you need help with making use of Excel, I'm not into showing that I'm a professor of Excel. I just want to introduce value-adding solutions using Microsoft Excel to people. Get across to me and I'll be able to, let's see what we can do. I wish you well. Thank you.